I'm Dr. Gene Antonucci. I started my career in dentistry in the Air Force, where I helped our military personnel get healthy and stay healthy. From there, I built a successful practice in Huntington, New York, and later as a teacher, lecturer, and author, I shared my knowledge and experience with students and fellow healthcare professionals. And now my journey's taken me here to explore the world of health, wellness, diet, fitness, and nutrition, as together we discover and find the good life. Welcome to Finding the Good Life. I'm Dr. Gene.
And I'm Karina.
Today, we're going to talk to Dr. Ali Galeria about the benefits of gardening.
And we have chef Luciano Catanuzzo, owner of the delicious food truck From Tuscany with Love. This is going to be a good show.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
That was some trip here yesterday, right?
Oh my gosh, the rain, the storms. I was seeing the lightning on the plane, and I was like, it looked like a movie.
We sat on the runway for 15, 20 minutes after landing, even a half hour after landing, because they couldn't let the guys out.
And the same thing happened to me.
And then we have our car. We had like a mile walk.
Well, I always wonder when you're going to come pick me up what car you're driving. So you're like, first of all, it took us forever to get to the parking lot because you got lost.
Oh,
and
right.
You're not one to ask questions. I'm like, ask somebody. Ask them. No, I got this. I got this. So we like traveled all over the airport. Finally, we get to the parking lot, and then you're like, I don't know where I left the car.
I forgot where, because I looked, and it was like, oh my God, so big.
We
so
did like our steps, just like walking around the parking lot trying to find. I'm like,
what kind of car? And I said, I have a Tesla.
A Tesla. And I'm like, oh, cool, we have a Tesla. So
what color? It's red.
And then we saw another Tesla.
We
went to the wrong car, and we're trying to turn it on. And
it gives you a warning
sign. And it was
sign.
like doing the lights, and I'm like, somebody's going to like
the Tesla,
tell us we're stealing it.
I picked it up, and I had about a half hour before you were landing, so I had to go to Whole Foods to do all the stuff, and I pulled down, and I realized I don't know how to shut the car off.
It's like driving like the.
I'm in the garage in Whole Foods, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at my phone, and there's no service. I said, oh my God, the car's still running. I don't know how to shut it off. And so I'm like doing everything, and then I finally pushed the button, and it went off. So I said, okay.
I feel like the Jetsons when I was in it.
It's like, how do you turn the air on? It's raining, and where's the windshield wipers? And I'm pushing a button, and
no, you just like just like talk to it. You just like go.
It's such a different ride. It's a different world.
Like,
and then we had to charge it.
And we couldn't find the charger. I'm looking everywhere for like a charger, like that looks like a fuel gauge or like a fuel thing, and we couldn't find it. We looked so stupid, like walking around, going, "How do you work this car?" That shows our generation, right? I mean, it's like
exactly. But we got here.
We got here. Another adventure, right?
Another adventure.
And I'm ready for this show.
There we go.
I mean, maybe a little disheveled, but it's okay. We're ready.
Well, enough about us and our traveling. We're going to take our shortest break, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with the good news.
Are you being audited, and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
And now, it's time for the good news. How do you feel when you garden?
I release stress. I start pulling, and it makes me like de-stress.
Well, a new randomized controlled trial of indoor group-based gardening courses were compared with art classes as a way to see if the moods of healthy women with no history of prescriptions for depression or anxiety could be improved. Now, it's not every day that a study looks at healthy women with no symptoms of depression, anxiety, or mood swings. But if an effect can be observed scientifically where the margin for improvement is the slimmest, that suggests robust potential for those in whom the margin for improvement is much larger. So, if gardening makes you happier, even if you're already relatively happy, it could really help people struggling with their mental health. What is it about gardening? Well, principal study investigator Charles Guy explained both gardening and art activities involve learning, planning, creativity, and physical movement, and they're both used therapeutically in medical settings. This makes them more comparable scientifically speaking than, for example, gardening and bowling or gardening and reading. Both groups demonstrated a small increase in mood, with gardening improving feelings of anxiety more than art. Both also demonstrated dose dependency. The more they gardened or drew, the greater they perceived therapeutic effect. So get out there and get your hands in the dirt.
Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't think of that because you garden. You love to garden.
I love gardening. That's what it does for me.
I know. I mean, I love to do art. I love to paint, but apparently you're getting greater benefits than I am.
Getting out your anger and painting.
Yeah, with the music in the background, but you're pulling weeds. That's what I love to do. When I garden, I like to pull weeds.
It's all a good thing.
Now listen to this. In 2020, an extraordinary video went viral. It featured Marta Cinta González Saldaña, a former ballet dancer suffering from severe Alzheimer's disease in her senior years. In the video, Saldaña is played a piece from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, and suddenly she flashes awake and begins moving to a dance routine she presumably rehearsed over and over again in her younger days.
Wow.
These kind of clips have been shared for years, and they highlight the stunning way music can rekindle dormant neural pathways in elderly subjects experiencing serious forms of dementia. And while music therapy is now a common practice in nursing homes, little research has actually zoomed in on the neural mechanisms behind the phenomena. And in particular, what kinds of music could optimize the potential brain benefits? In new research, Psych Louis, an associate professor of music, is attempting to do exactly that. Louis found that for older adults who listened to some of their favorite musics, including the Beatles, connectivity in the brain increased. Specifically, Louis and her multidisciplinary team of music therapists, neurologists, and geriatric psychiatrists discovered that music bridged the gap between the brain's auditory system and reward system, the area that governs motivation. The original idea for this research came out of Louis' own experience playing music in nursing homes. She recalled how people who couldn't finish a sentence or thought would suddenly harmonize and sing along to a song she was playing.
Wow.
That's so interesting.
And it's true.
It's true. I mean, when I paint and I have to listen to, like, for me, it's Broadway musicals, and it just unleashes so many memories of my childhood and my dad. I mean, it just really inspires me.
It does. We'll be back with more Finding the Good Life after this quick break.